Thank you so much for stopping on my video. I hope that you can stay for the entire practice because I feel like this can really help you work through some pent-up emotions. And even if you're not suppressing any emotions, it could be a good practice to stretch your hips. Hi, I'm Christiana with Christiana's Yoga. One of the things that I learned in my training is that hips can hold on to emotional energy, but it wasn't something that I had experienced, or so I thought, until recently when I had an unexpected emotional breakthrough at the gym of all places, where I was finishing up my practice and I felt this overwhelming flood of emotions come rushing over me. And that experience is why I decided to create this video to share with you. I do share a little bit more about that experience in a different video called My Hip Opening Experience, and I'll link it at the end of this video if that's something that you want to check out. So when you have about 20 minutes to do this practice, then I would like for you to set up your mat in a space where you feel comfortable releasing emotions. What I don't want you to do is try to suppress any emotions that are coming up. I would like for you to acknowledge them and then be able to release them, which is why I want you to be in a space where you feel comfortable doing so. And try to limit any distractions so you can really take this time for yourself. When you're setting up your space, it's a good idea to set up your device, whether it's your phone or a tablet or your computer, towards the top of your mat. But for this practice, maybe shift it towards the right corner, because at some point we will turn and face towards the back of the mat, and if you want to take a peek, then you'll want your device where you can actually see it. And have all your props nearby, so blocks, blankets, any couch cushions, any knee padding nearby, but just make sure that you leave space around your entire mat, because we will be using the outside of your mat as well. And then at the very end of your practice, I would like for you to, or I encourage you to, I'm not the boss, but I encourage you to sit for a little bit and observe how you're feeling. If you do feel any emotions come up, please feel them and then take a deep breath in your nose and then sigh it out of your mouth and let them go. Thank them for coming to the party, as I like to say, and just let them go. And then just a quick note, I'm not a licensed therapist, so if you do need or want any more help than I can offer you here, I do encourage you to seek out that help. And then of course too, with any practice, any exercise practice, it is always a good idea to listen to your body and practice within your means. I don't want you to be in any pain. I do want you to be comfortable but feel a good stretch. Okay. Also, I have created a quick reference PDF that you can download so that you can have it on hand if you only have time for 1 or 2 stretches, but you do want to get that work in. So the link is in the description here. Also, I'm thinking about maybe creating a longer, more in-depth version of this class and make it available for purchase. So if you think that people would be interested in something like that, please let me know in the comments. That would be very helpful. So, and then another tip, you might have noticed it, my space gets kind of noisy here. So while we do this practice, I will actually do a voiceover, and hopefully that's not too obnoxious. And before this plane gets too loud, let's get down on our mats. Let's get started by lying on our backs in Shavasana. Extend both your legs, release your arms by your sides with your palms facing up. Once you get there, relax into the floor. Begin to take slow, even breaths in and out of your nose. Continue breathing this way as we move through this practice. Now is a good time to set the intention to feel deeply within invite any emotions in so that we can acknowledge them and then release them. In this practice, we will work all the way around our hips, from the front to the sides and then the back. Keep breathing. Now bring your hands to your hips, bend your knees and plant your feet on the mat. Notice the crease at where the tops of your leg bones meet your hips. This is called your hip crease. So when yogis say fold from your hip crease, this is what we're referring to. Now step your feet as wide as your mat. Hands can be on your waist or by your sides. Inhale through your nose and exhale, lower your knees to the outside of the right of your mat. Inhale, bring them back through center, and exhale, release them to the opposite side. Continue alternating sides as you inhale your knees through center and exhale, release them to the side. You might feel a little stretch here as we begin to open up through our hips. Very good. Inhale through center. One more time each side. Exhale, release. Bring your knees back through center. Release to the left side for the last time. And inhale, pause at the top. Grab your knees with your hands, with your arms straight, and begin to do hip circles. So rotate your knees in one direction, feeling a connection of your back of your pelvis to the mat. Now reverse, circle your knees in the other direction. You might invite a little massage to the back of your pelvis as you rotate your knees. Now pause at the top and rock yourself up to sit. Now bend your left knee and bring your heel to your outer right hip. Now cross your right leg over your left thigh. Hug your knee into your chest with your left arm and sit nice and tall as you inhale. Exhale, open to the right side of your mat. You may feel a stretch across the outside of your hip. Keep breathing. Now gently release and come back to center. Unwind your legs and do the other side. You have an option to keep the bottom leg straight if that is more comfortable. But here we have our right knee bent and our left knee crossed over our right thigh. Again, hug your knee into your chest. Inhale, sit tall, and exhale, twist open. Keep breathing. Keep lengthening on your inhales. Now come back through center. Bring the soles of your feet to touch and allow your knees to fall out to the sides. Sit nice and tall and inhale. You can stay here. Or if you wish to find a deeper stretch, bring your chest towards your feet on your exhale. Again, lengthen as you inhale and exhale. Release into the stretch a little deeper if that's comfortable for you. One more deep breath in. Inhale, sit upright. Grab your knee padding if you're going to use it. And shift to all fours or tabletop with your knees below your hips and your hands below your shoulders. When you get there, rock your pelvis forward and then back and pause in the middle where it feels most natural for you for a neutral pelvis. Now press the mat away from you and extend your right leg back behind you and lift it parallel to the mat. If you feel stable here, extend your left arm in front of you, also parallel. Hug your low belly in and keep both hip points squared towards the mat and breathe. Keep your lifted leg firm. Very good. Now bring your hand down to the mat and swing your right leg to the outside of your mat. Place your heel down in line with your knee and come to stand on your shin. Firm your belly and inhale your arms up to the sky and reach up and over your right leg as you exhale into gate pose. You may release your right hand down, but keep your hips stacked above your knee for a stretch all along the left side of your body. Now come upright, and however you can get there, step your right foot to the top of the mat, about hips distance apart. When you get there, point your tailbone straight down towards the mat and then begin to shift your hips forward slightly, bending into your front knee. Lift your arms above your head into Anjaneyasana. Keep breathing. Now bring your hands down to the mat. Step back to all fours. And then step your left foot back behind you and lift it parallel to the mat. We'll do the other side now. Reach your right arm forward. Firm your low belly in. Keep breathing. Now bring your right hand down to the mat and swing your left foot out to the side with your heel in line with your knee. Come to stand on your shin. Reach your arms up above your head and exhale, reach over to your left side above your left leg. Option to release your left hand down to the inside of your thigh. But keep your hips stacked above your knee as you reach your left arm past your head. Now come upright, and this time bring your left foot towards the top of the mat. Again, hips distance. Point your tailbone down towards the mat and then begin to bend into your front knee. Lift your arms up to the ceiling. Find length through your spine, lift up out of your hips. Now bring your hands down to the mat and tuck your back toes this time and step your feet forward to the top of the mat. Inhale to a flat back and exhale, fold out over your legs. And inhale as you sweep your arms out and up to the ceiling. Bring your hands through heart center and open up into mountain pose. Let's set it up here. So stand firmly between both feet. Engage your thighs, hug your low belly in, release your shoulder blades down your back, and open your palms to the front. Now inhale your arms up to the sky, and as you exhale, send your hips back in space, sink them into a chair pose. Release your hands and fold out over your legs. Inhale to a flat back. Now plant your palms and step back to high plank. Now inhale and shift your shoulders forward of your wrists. Drop your knees as you exhale, then your chest, then release your hips down to the mat. Now leading with your shoulder blades, peel your chest up off the mat as you inhale. Exhale, lower. Press into your hands, come to all fours, tuck your back toes and send your hips back for downward facing dog. Pedal your feet, alternating, bending one knee and straightening the other. Now come high onto your tippy toes, send your ribs towards your thighs, and then begin to straighten your legs to send your heels towards the mat, but they don't have to reach. Now step your right foot wide to the outer edge of the mat and turn your toes out slightly. Step your left foot behind your left hand and stand upright. Use your hands to guide your hips towards squared to the front of the mat, and then lift your arms up to the sky. Lengthen up through your spine, up out of your hips. Breathe in Warrior One, Virabhadrasana 1. Now bring your hands down to the mat, fix your back foot and step back to high plank. Inhale, shift your shoulders forward, drop your knees, exhale, lower your chest, then your hips. Peel your chest up off the mat as you inhale, exhale, release. Press through all fours, tuck your back toes, down dog. This time, step your left foot wide to the outer edge of the mat, turn your toes out, step your right foot behind your right hand, stand upright. Again, move your hips towards square, and then inhale, reach your arms up above. Keep breathing. And release your hands to the mat, fix your back foot and step back to high plank. Inhale, shift forward slightly, drop your knees, then your chest, then your hips. Inhale, lift your chest up, release, move through all fours and send your hips back and up for downward facing dog. Inhale, step forward to the top of the mat. Breathe in for a flat back. Exhale, fold over your legs and sweep your arms out and up to the ceiling as you inhale. Bring your hands to prayer, seat them at your heart, and reset your mountain pose. Now inhale your arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale to a flat back. Plant your palms, step back to high plank. This time, inhale, shift forward. Option to drop your knees or move through chaturanga if that's in your practice. Up into upward facing dog or cobra. And press your hips back for downward facing dog. Now inhale and step your left foot forward to your left thumb tip. And then stand upright. Feel a good firm foundation in your feet. Bend into your back knee and point your tailbone down towards the mat, and then lift your arms up to the sky and begin to straighten your back leg in Ashta Chandrasana. And breathe. Now straighten both legs and come to the heel of your front foot, lifting your toes off the mat, and then turn everything towards the right side of your mat. Point your toes towards the corners and then bend your knees over your ankles as you sink your hips, and bring your arms to goal post for a goddess pose. Breathe here. Now bring your hands to your hips, straighten both legs, parallel your feet, and then fold forward from your hip crease. Release your hands to the ground and inhale in a flat back. As you exhale, bring your hands in line with your feet and breathe in Prasarita Padottanasana. Try shifting your weight slightly towards the balls of your feet to see if that changes the stretch in the backs of your legs. Now inhale into a flat back and walk your hands towards the back of the mat, framing now your right foot. Step back to high plank. Inhale as you shift forward, move through chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, into up dog or cobra, and exhale into downward facing dog. This time, step your right foot forward to your right thumb tip. Set up your firm foundation, point your tailbone down towards the mat as you lift upright. Inhale your arms up to the sky and then begin to straighten your back leg in Ashta Chandrasana. And breathe. And this time, straighten both legs, come to the heel of your right foot and turn towards the side of the mat. And bend your knees into your goddess pose. You may choose to prayer hands at your heart this time, or goalpost arms. Release your hands to your hips, straighten both legs, parallel your feet, fold forward from your hip creases and inhale into a flat back. Exhale, move your hands in line with your feet, and breathe in standing wide-legged forward fold. Remove your knee padding if it's still there. We're going to do a fun transition to get down to the ground. So step your feet as wide as you can comfortably, and then reach back between your legs and press your hands into the ground and try to control lowering your bottom down to the ground. Very good. You may need to shift forward to come back onto your mat here. And keep your legs open wide, flex your feet, reach your arms up towards the sky, and exhale, fold forward from your hip creases. Try to bring your chest forward and towards the ground as opposed to your head. You may need to stay more upright if that's more comfortable for you. Stay somewhere in the middle, or if you're super bendy, which I am not, then you can fold all the way down to the ground. Just make sure that your knees and your toes are pointed straight up towards the ceiling. And breathe. Now walk your hands in to come to sit upright, and use your hands to help swing both legs towards the front of the mat again. Shift your seat however much you need to, flex your feet, reach your arms towards the sky, and exhale, fold out over your legs, keeping your knees bent as much as you need to. Inhale, shine your chest forward, and exhale, fold deeper into Paschimottanasana, or seated forward fold. One more breath. Inhale, sit upright and roll all the way down to your back. Now bend your knees and plant your feet about hips distance. Bring your heels in just far enough to graze the backs of your heels with your fingers. Then give your tailbone a slight tuck and press into your heels and lift your hips up towards the ceiling. You may wish to interlace your fingers and then walk your shoulders one by one a little further underneath you. Keep breathing. Feel like you're pressing the mat away with your heels. Release your hands and lower your hips down to the mat. Bring your knees into your chest for a little hug. Now release your feet back down to the mat and cross your left foot over your right thigh. Then reach between your legs and interlace your fingers behind your thigh and bring your legs in towards your chest, but send that left knee away from your face for a nice stretch across the outside of your left hip. Breathe deeply into the stretch, then release your feet down and switch sides, bringing your right foot over your left thigh. Hold on to your left leg and bring your legs in towards your chest. But again, send that right knee away from your face. Keep both feet active and breathe deeply. Release your feet again. Now this time, hug your knees into your chest. Maybe lift your forehead up towards your knees. And then send your knees towards your armpits and flex your feet up towards the ceiling. Reach for the outer edges of your feet for happy baby pose. Maybe rock side to side. Find any movement that feels good for you here while you breathe. And release, hug your knees into your chest, and then bring your feet down towards the mat. Bring the soles of your feet to touch and allow your knees to open up to the sides. If you want support here, you can use blocks or couch cushions or pillows underneath your knees. But try to relax into this stretch while it opens up across your hips. Keep breathing. Now you may wish to stay here, or if you would like to extend into full Shavasana, then bring your knees together and then extend your feet out. Allow your feet to open up to the sides. Release your arms by your sides with your palms facing upwards. Relax your fingers. Relax your legs. Rock your head side to side and then bring it to stillness. Take a deep breath in your nose and sigh it out of your mouth for a cleansing breath. And come to your natural rhythm of breathing. Try to rest here. Try not to fidget. Let any thoughts that come in, let them go just as easily. If you find your mind wandering, focus on your breath or focus on your intention to feel your emotions deeply from within, or your intention to observe what may be surfacing. Oftentimes, when you've done a good amount of hip work, you might notice your emotions starting to surface here in Shavasana. Don't fight them, allow them to come. Or you may not feel any emotions coming up. Everyone is different, and everybody's experience will be different. But at the end of this practice, please allow yourself time to sit and observe. And if you do find strong emotions coming in, feel them and then release them. Please rest here quietly in Shavasana, and then we will close out our practice together. Gently begin to bring movement to your fingers. Wiggle your toes, reawaken your legs and your arms, and reach your arms out past your head and stretch your hands away from your feet for a nice full body stretch, and breathe. Bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a nice big hug. Maybe rock side to side. Now roll to your right side, and for a moment rest your head on your bicep, and then use your hands to press yourself up to sitting, either on your shins or in a cross-legged position, whichever is comfortable for you. This is where I would love for you to spend some time observing any feelings or emotions that may come. Please also thank yourself for your practice today, and thank yourself for allowing you to feel any of these emotions that you may have been holding on to. Thank them for coming to the party, and then let them go. Inhale your arms up to the sky. Bring your prayer hands to your forehead and then your heart. And thank you for sharing this practice with me today. Please, if you need help, reach out to someone in your community, to a trusted loved one, or seek out any extra help that you may need.